Now, from here, things go a bit mad, right? Firstly, Tim Roth starts getting younger. Then he splits into two people. He can't decide whether he wants to carry on with his work, but he keeps being distracted by a woman who wants to, you know, be racy with him, wearing a suspender belt that's got a swastika on it. He then meets up with somebody else who's been involved in an accident which has enabled them to speak Sanskrit, and it turns out that, in fact, all language is unravelling backwards in them, so they are therefore becoming an extraordinary project which ends up with the birth of language, which somehow complements his work, but on the other hand, he's being distracted by the fleshy delights of the thing I refer you to.
Does number 23 come into it anyway?
Previous. No, it doesn't, but if it did and Jim Carrey came in, it really wouldn't seem at all out of place. I mean, here's what happened when watching the movie. Firstly, I started watching it, I fell asleep. I mean, as we know, this is not completely, and then you wake up a little bit, and then there's the bit with the woman in the suspender belt with the swastika on it, and I start thinking, I wonder what happened to Tinto Brass. Did Salon Kitty get past uncut? Did Ilse Shewell for the SS ever get through the BBFC? What about the last orgy of the Gestapo? I wonder whether any of those
supposed to know those movies you're referring to.
Well, I mean, if you're my age and you went through the video nasty scare, they are thinking, but then you wander back into the movie, and Tim Roth is two people, and the woman's babbling in Sanskrit, and the camera moves aren't happening at all, and the whole thing's filmed in Romania, and some of the cast are from there, and some of them from Bucharest, but they're obviously speaking in a second language, and most large sections of them are overdubbed, and then you sort of zone out a little bit again, and then you come back in again, and the film's still going on, and all language is unravelling in this strangely demonic possession kind of way, and you're thinking, this is pretty much unreleasably bad. I mean, the only possible reason for having any interest in this movie is that Francis Ford Coppola is back in the saddle and has apparently got another two on the go. Well, whoop-de-doo on the basis of this. It's just...
What, follow-ons from this?
No, well, they may be thematically connected. But it's like one of those things where people have written things about it as very personal, very project. Yeah, you know what? It's very personal. Keep it in your house. Put it in a shed. You know, and there's a lot of things that are personal. I don't want them out in public. I certainly don't want to watch somebody who was once a great filmmaker, I mean an unreliably great filmmaker, but a great filmmaker, reduced to this sort of babbling nonsense. And this is how personal it is. He financed it all himself with proceeds from his vineyards. 'Cause you know he's an award-winning, what's the word for a vineyarder? Vineyardiste? No, that sounds
winemaker.
No, a winemaker is somebody who makes wine.
Yes.
Somebody who owns the vineyards.
A grapekeeper.
A grapekeeper.
Well, it might be.
Yeah, it's like beekeeping, is it? A grapekeeper. Well, anyway, so that's what he's made. So he's put his own money into this, and it's clearly something that, from his point of view, in his time of life, has massive relevance and is all about the unfulfilled project, and is all about the tension between the mind and the body, and it's got some politics in it. And he's just thinking, this is babbling garbage. I mean, it's so badly acted and so badly put together, and the dialogue is leaden when you can understand it. And if anybody else had made this movie, it would be coming straight out on DVD in a sort of double pack with some other piece of unreleasable Euro piffle. But as it is, it's Francis Ford Coppola, and so consequently we are all being told it's for our consideration for the awards period. You know what? I've considered it. My answer is, Francis, go back to the wine. This is so bad.
On that subject, Peter Allen, who is up in 40 seconds, assures me on a message it's a vintner.
A vintner. There we go.
Grapekeeper works for me.